Alright, welcome back to Ranma Anime Review, episode number 52. We're here reviewing the 24th episode of the 2024 reboot, which also happens to be the final episode of Season 2. And when I saw this, I'm like, really? We're doing this again? 12 episodes? Okay, fine, whatever. I expect to see the return of this probably in 10 months for Season 3 if they ever decide to do a Season 3. I hope they do because there's still a ton of manga to adapt. And I like how much left because this episode, which is called Fowl Play, yes, Fowl Play, which adapts chapters 98 and 99 of the manga, finishing the Moose Returns arc for the series. Also, this very episode, the series in 24 episodes has already adapted approximately 78 chapters, which means they have exactly, I think it's like 300, I think it's like 29. Yeah, 329 chapters left to go for the entire series to adapt. I hope there is going to be a Season 3, given the fact that, from what I can tell, it looks really good this season. I have read also that Mappa is being accused of treating the workers working on this very show as a sweatshop. Well, I'm not sure if that's really true or not, but that's what I read online. If it is true, Mappa, what's wrong with you? I know Mappa itself basically, where in the last couple years, where apparently they're getting so many animes to adapt, because that's a complaint I've heard in the last couple of years. It seems like any anime gets an adaptation. Where does it go? It goes to Mappa, because they're a really good studio, which they are. They're a really good studio. I mean, one of the most popular series to put out, aside from this one, is Jujutsu Kaisen. And of course, yes, they did also work on the final season of Attack on Titan, because the first 3 seasons of the show was worked on WIT Studio. Of course, the reason why it's with studios, because that's what the committee wanted. But in this episode, we pick up where we left up last episode, where Ranma thinks, oh, Akane was turned into a duck. And then we find out, nope, she was turned into a duck. So, apparently, the hose was not filled with the spring of drowned duck. Nope, it was a complete red herring. And of course, like, oh, like a married to a duck, and find out, nope, she's perfectly fine. And then we have, let's have a rematch between Moose and Ranma, where if Moose wins, shampoo is all his. If Ranma wins, Moose goes back to China. Well, he doesn't. And of course, basically, he offered, and of course, Kami's like, why not just lose on purpose? Heck, he says, why don't you lose on purpose? And he's like, I don't care. I'll take that. Yeah, he'll take a hollow victory just to get a win over Ranma. And they fight back and forth. Eventually, Moose is defeated, turned back into a duck, and because he's got an obsession with shampoo, because he's nearsighted, so basically he just keeps taking his glasses off for some weird reason. Like, he can't keep his glasses on. As a matter of fact, he is one of 3 characters in the whole show who is a regular character in the show to actually wear glasses. The other being Rama's father wears glasses, but not when he's in panda form. And there's also Dr. Taka, the one who Akane didn't have a thing for, but it turns out he had a thing for her sister. Yeah. So, and then it showed at the very end that Shampoo kept them in the shop, trapped in his duck form, being chained to a chair, feeding him a fish. Because Ranma, after eating some food, and of course where the middle sister, who was voiced by Stephanie Seif, tries to sell some pictures of Akane for lots of money. Because of course she does. She's basically greedy. And of course Ranma and Akane go out to school. And then of course Ranma once again is transformed into a girl. Because there's this old lady keeps doing this thing where she has a bucket of water and keeps just jumping water. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what the heck this is supposed to be for. I'm sure it's a cultural thing, but okay. So here's the thing. So is Ranma running that close to this lady to get splashes water? This water that basically is a small cup, but to have a whole bucket of water, just keep doing this the whole time. I'm like, why? Like, what is the reason for this? Because this is one of the things for Japanese culture, I have no idea what the heck this was before. And then the episode ends with Tendo proceed to try to hit on Akane and Ranma in his girl form, referred to as the Pigtail Girl, and then them giving both a double drop kick ending the episode. Which is probably the episode saying, yeah, we're not coming back. But that's it. That last little bit was completely unoriginal. I don't think that happened in the manga, but I'm like, why not continue the series? The series has been well received. I enjoyed this series. I just haven't heard anything of this season 2 or not. I mean, there's been nothing announced. I mean, today the season just ended, so why not do a season 2? You got plenty of source material to adapt. Like, there's a lot there. Like, there's like about 329 chapters to adapt. Just do it, Mappa. Adapt the rest of the series. But knowing this, for probably 30 years in a row, we probably have to wait 10 months for season 3. And it's probably going to be here for about 12 episodes and be gone again. Maybe sometime soon I'll have more basic of season 2, season 3 or not. So, final thoughts on season 2 of Ranma Half, the 2024 reboot show. I do like it, but here's the thing. The first season had the manga all in order, and then for some weird reason, I don't know why the show did this for, after episode 16 of the series, which was the, believe it or not, the 4th episode of the season, for the remaining 20 episodes, they were adapting stuff, they were skipping manga. I don't know why. I know the original series did this too, but I'm like, why? Like, is there a reason why they had to do this? I mean, technically, yes. So episode 16, which I think was like Dungeon Destroyer. Yeah, and then for some reason they skipped over like 8 frickin' chapters. And you're like, really? Yeah, really. Like, in case you're curious though, they adapted roughly in 2 seasons, roughly just about the first 100 chapters. Yeah, close to it. But they didn't have everything. Which I tend to ask, why? Like, here's the arcs that they skipped over this whole season. The first arc they skipped over, which obviously come out the full body tongue arc, was Breaking Point. An arc that's only 5 chapters. They could have easily covered this in 2 episodes. Nope, we had to skip this one. And it's not the only one they skipped. And the next one they skipped was Martial Arts Tea Ceremony, which took up chapters 56, 58. This took up like 1 episode they wanted to. Maybe 2. They skipped that one. They did do Martial Arts Takeout. For a post-introduction, they adapted most of this arc into 1 episode. Yeah, seriously, almost this entire arc. They did not adapt the entirety of it, per se. No. For the episode Evil Weeks. And I looked this up. So, yeah, they pretty much adapted, like, the entire 63, 66, 68, 69. For 64, it was pages 9 to 15, and 67 was just 1 page. Yeah, that 1 page being the last page. Would they adapt the rest of this for a following episode? I was hoping the next episode would do this, but nope, they skipped it. They did adapt the following arc, Dungeon Destroyer. They adapted that in like 1 episode. It was like 4 chapters pretty easily. Then came Romeo and Juliet, an arc they originally skipped. Yeah, They skip this arc. They adapt this one for episode 22. You're like, really? Why did they adapt for the previous couple episodes? Well, here's more stuff they skipped. They skipped the Japanese Nanchin arc, which is roughly 3 chapters. Take up chapters 78 to 80. This was helping really adapt this one because she was not in the season. Akane versus Kadochi cookie battle. Yeah, Kadochi was not in the season. You're like, really? Yeah, she was featured in just a few episodes of the first season of the show. And you're like, what? Yeah, a character who's a really good character. Yeah, she's featured in 2 episodes in the first season of the show, which was 6 and 7. Has not featured since. This was a great time to bring her back, but nope, they skipped this one for Uchiho Kadochi intro arc. Yep. I'm guessing they really wanted to introduce this character with the second season of the show, so they brought her in for 2 episodes, which is this is what they skipped over, and then went back to Romeo and Juliet. And then the last arc they skipped over was Amazon Love Pills. Yeah, they skipped this one too. So, of course, yes, the final episode did cover the last 2, pretty much covered the Moose Returns arc. So actually, it's more like 99 chapters. So it's like they skipped 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they skipped 5 arcs. Okay, my hope for season 3, if they do season 3, do not skip these arcs again. Just start with these arcs. Just adapt each arc you skipped. Matt, but if you're going to adapt, you're going to do another season of this, first thing you should do, adapt the stuff you skipped. Shouldn't take very long. I mean, how long would it take to cover this stuff, per se? Well, given the fact that the Breaking Point arc is 5 chapters, I'm guessing you could probably do this in the first 2 episodes. I'm guessing at that. Martial arts tea ceremony, that could be done in 1 episode. There's no reason why they have it stretched out to another episode. Yeah, that's what I would suggest. Had this be like this is what I hope anyways. I hope this is the 3rd episode of season 3. I would say the 4th episode just adapt what was skipped from the Hipposa introduction arc. There's no reason why you can't. And then the 5th episode, adapt the Japanese Nanchin arc, which is like 3 chapters. Should be not much of an issue. That could be, let's see, like the first episode Breaking Point, 3, 4. Yeah, this be like the 5th episode. The Akane versus Goji Cookie Battle arc. This could take up roughly like the 6th episode of the season. Yes. And as for Amazon Love Pills, this could be episode 7. Yep, episode 7. And I would suggest starting with episode 8. Adapt the Tsubasa Coronet arc, which you can do that in like 1 episode. Episode 9. This is just suggestion. I don't think I do this or not. Episode 9. Here's the weird thing about this one arc. Ryoga Goes Home. This arc was skipped in the original series. Yeah, it was skipped. You can have this adapted for you. This could be your first story arc. The Ryoga Goes Home arc. This could be the first arc they adapted. Was never adapted in the original series. This could be easily your 9th episode right here. It's 3 chapters. And then you have the 10th episode probably be the Aposite Ultimate Technique arc. And this could take up 1 episode, maybe 10th episode. You can have your 11th episode be the very quick Kurose Mushroom arc, which is just 2 chapters. And then you can cap the season off with the Super Soba arc. Yeah, you can have this be the 12th episode right here. I would probably also do a 13th episode just to introduce this wacky character. Principal Kuno! Yeah, Principal Kuno. Have the 13th be 14 episodes because they really got to introduce this character. Because this would be a great ending episode. You could also, you could probably even have the finale be an hour. You could probably have it be a 45-minute episode covering this whole arc. That's what I suggest doing for Season 3. Mappa, want to do it? It's up to them. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up we have is a Comic Corner, and it's on to the Banished Corp Edition Ainsby Strongest. Okay, there you go. Bye.